Your life. Go for it.
All right. All right. Good morning, everybody. Today it's dumping outside.
Yeah,
it's
it
just freaking miserable out there. But we are going to talk about something that is really important to us. You know, Chris and I we're very different people. You know, I think we're friends because we are polar opposites. But one thing that we agree a lot on is, you know, how important it is to be a father, and what that means, and how to do that. And you know, we want to talk about, really just kind of talk together about things that we've done as we've navigated parenthood. You know, we did it very differently, and just kind of what best practices are, and you know, what it meant for us, the wins that we had, and the mistakes that we made. Because I think anybody watching this, you know, hopefully you get the luxury, the joy of being a parent at some point in your life, and it is, honestly, it's probably the most important thing you're gonna do with your life.
It's a privilege.
It's a privilege, you know, and it ain't easy. And it's you know, like me, for instance, I'm not gonna cure cancer. I'm not gonna find world peace, but I am gonna be a good dad, and that's gonna be my legacy. You know, I think for all of us, that's gonna be our legacy, right?
Absolutely.
So I think we'll just start with that.
Right.
You know?
Well, I'll introduce Bruce. Bruce and I have been friends. I actually don't know how long. It's like I was like 21 when I met you, or something like that. And we worked together.
It's like 3 years.
Yeah.
Yeah, just a couple days.
Met online. Was there online back then?
No,
This
there's
is getting
dial-up.
weird right now. It's
It
getting
is getting weird right now.
It's only weird if you feel weird. Just let it go. But yeah, so Bruce is joining us. I've known him a long time. A great example of what a good father is.
Oh, I
through all
appreciate that.
all this stuff, you know, you've been through.
Cool. Yeah. A single dad. I was a single dad. My daughter is 37 now. I was a single dad. I got to be a single dad for when she was 6 months old. So it's been her and I for a long time. And for some reason or another, it's always been the girls that gravitate. And I don't know if it's because of the fact that I'm a single dad and I can kind of navigate through that, you know, as the cheerleading and all that kind of thing, you know. And I've always been the house where the girls come to.
Yeah.
You know, my daughter's little friends are cheerleading friends. They all come over there and they want advice about their boyfriends and their, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know anything about that. Well, I didn't.
You sure learned as you went.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah.
Being thrown into fires, it's a good way to learn. It's hot, but it's a good way to learn.
You know, my story of fatherhood is very different. Very traditional, I guess. My wife and I, you know, while we were dating, we found out that we were pregnant with our first son. And I was young. I think I was 20. Just turned 21. Very, very afraid. And, you know, we were going to get married anyway, so that's kind of what, you know, started our life together. And, you know, I remember when, you know, I just assumed that when I became a dad, like, you would just naturally know what to do, right? Like, you watch, like, when a dog has puppies, it just knows what to do, right?
Innate sense.
Like, every animal has this, you know, that natural instinct that kicks in, right?
Yeah.
And I remember when Anthony was born, I remember looking at him, and I was so scared because nothing changed. Like, I'm the same guy I was yesterday. Now I have a baby. And, you know, I feel like with Rebecca, like, I think women, they think there are natural instincts that kicked in with them. But I think for men, I'll only speak for myself. I'm no professional. I'm just telling you what I felt. I didn't feel anything, and that scared me. And I remember when we left the hospital, like, the nurses, they walk us out, they make sure the car seat fits, and I'm like, that's it? Like, you're not gonna make me take a test or anything? Like, you're gonna let me leave with this thing? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it was like this is what's wrong with society. You didn't like sit me down and make me take a test.
Here you go,
You don't know anything about me. Like, so that's so
Did
true.
you know what I've done in my life?
Right. It was just like,
You know how irresponsible I am? This is
Yeah.
bad.
Like, I mean, it was just, it was very, but I think that feeling is what made me a good dad, because I didn't want, like, once I had that child, like, it was now my job to not fail him.
Oh yeah.
You know.
Ooh, yeah, that.
That's a
I
tough.
think
Yeah,
that's
that.
a thing, right? I mean, we all have different stories to that. You know, like, I remember that time in my life, I was in school full time. Rebecca had a pretty, not a rough pregnancy, but this was like in the South in the summer.
Yeah.
Like she wasn't leaving the house, man.
Oh,
It was hot
miserable.
and humid, and so she was kind of just stayed in the house. So I started working just to support us as a couple, and then working full time and going to school full time, and that's just what I did for the next 2 years. Well, as we started raising him. But that was my contribution to fatherhood at that time, was just being the breadwinner and letting her raise him, and it's very different for everybody. But that was I guess the beginning of how things went for me as a father.
The transition. I told
Yeah.
my daughter all the time. I got a packet that was an inch thick when I bought a VCR.
Yeah.
When I brought you home from the hospital, they gave me a little beanie and a blanket. That's it.
Same thing. Yep.
Good luck, Mr. Robinson. Have a great life. Took her home, and it was the same thing for me. It was a realization.
Yeah.
That okay, now this little bundle of selfishness that's all me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Regardless of whatever happens for the rest of my life, she's mine.
Yeah.
She's my responsibility. And then you really start to reflect. You really start to I think it's when you decide what kind of man you want to be.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's what happens.
That was actually the real life case for myself, because I was a young man, and then when I got Brooklyn, as in custody,
I remember that.
that's when I was like, oh,
Yeah.
this is what I was really actually fighting for, right? And then, anyways, so there was a lot that so that's where I was like, and I don't even know that I really reflected on it, that where I was thinking like, okay, what kind of man do I want to be? I think I was more just fucking fielding all of the aftermath of where Brooklyn was, that I kind of just skipped over everything, and I just was like, okay, this is what we're doing. This kid is like hurting and crying and has this whatever trauma going on and all these feelings and thoughts. I don't think that I really sat down and was like, what kind of dad am I gonna be? I did.
I think you shifted gears, dude. I think you just moved to another gear.
I just went in because she was.
I was
going
around
through it
for that. I
Yeah.
mean, that whole thing.
Yeah.
And it was, I think that's what you did.
Yeah,
Because you were this way,
yeah,
and then when you got custody, I remember that. You just shifted gears. Now we're going this way.
yeah.
And I don't think you look back, dude. I mean, that's
No.
admirable qualities, like seriously, because I had an existential crisis. I had a crisis. I did. But you just shifted gears. It was really cool as an older man. I'm 60 years old right now, so
Yeah.
when you were 20, it was anyway. I
We don't need
watched
to
that.
math.
Right. I watched that. I watched that whole thing go down, and it was really an honor for me to be a part of that. Like seriously, because I watched her grow up, and then in her teen years, she came to one of my Friendsgivings, dude, and blessed me with a song. I was
Oh yeah.
blown away, bro. I was
Yeah.
blown away, and honor and that's what they do for us. When they get older, they honor us.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you do it right.
I
Exactly.
think even when they're younger, I think to your guys' point, like that definitely like starting the family and having kids, you don't really think about it, but you just switch gears.
Yeah.
If you're doing it right, you just
Yeah.
make a choice, right? Like my choice was, and I come from a really good family. My parents are still married. I'm from a family of 7 kids.
Wow.
Oldest of 7, and in fact, my
You're the
youngest,
oldest
of 7.
Wow.
My youngest sister is only a couple months older than my oldest son. So I got to kind of watch, like when I started having kids, I was watching my parents transition from like me to now having kids too. And I think as men, and this is just something I think we can take things from our childhood or anything that happens to us, and we can make decisions. Like, I didn't like that, I'm not going to do that. I like that, I'm going to do that. Like there are things about my dad that I didn't like. Like he worked very hard, and when he came home, it was, don't talk to dad, he's fried. And I was like, I don't want to do that. I don't want to be afraid when I don't want my kids to be afraid when I come home. That we're going to get in trouble or whatever, right? So, and I think I did a good job of recognizing that I had 18 years with them, and even though I was working 2 jobs when they were little, because I was a mechanic in the morning as a bartender at night. I worked 7 days a week. But I had 2 half days with them, had time between jobs and stuff. So I made sure that when I was home, I was relevant, even if that's just an hour, right? Where I put the phone away, I just spend time with them like
Conscious
that.
choice.
Exactly, making a conscious choice to put them first for at least an hour. And that meant the world to them. That was everything to them. And it was great because when I came home, when Jonathan and Anthony were like 4 and 5 years old, or 3 and 4 years old, like I'd come home and it was like, oh, Dad's home. Woo!
That's the best feeling, man.
God, man, it's the best feeling because you feel like you just got back from war and you're the hero.
It's so true.
Like it is like anything you do is the coolest thing, you know. Like that's the best age, right? Like, oh wow, Dad made it home.
Yep.
Oh, awesome.
Oh, I love that. So you guys think it's easier, or well, boys and girls?
You know,
Well, it's different. Yeah.
that's a tough one because
Yeah,
I
right?
don't like. You don't have boys. You have had adopted children and
Yeah.
and
True story.
children, stepchildren and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
I have 5 sisters, so I know what hell that was that my dad had to go
Yeah,
through.
but you got a new perspective though. If you have
Yes.
all sisters, there's a certain, because I had sisters too, and to this day, my sister, she's absolutely my best friend. I call her the truth, because she'll tell me like, oh my, stupid stuff I don't want to hear.
Yeah.
But it's true. So that perspective of having sisters, it does translate to having daughters.
Yeah,
it really
very
does.
much does. I think in many other ways too, right? Like I have no problem working with females. In fact, like in my staff, I hire a lot of females
Me too.
because I can communicate with them. You know,
I think you get something
you
from
do
that.
get something from that.
You
Yeah.
learn how to navigate emotions and feelings,
Yeah.
which are too huge.
Yes, yeah. But I will say, I'll be honest, I remember when at school, Rebecca went to her first doctor's appointment by herself, and that was when they figure out what sex we're going to have. And I think this is before we did gender reveals or anything like that. Like we've never done gender reveals with any of our kids. But I remember I got home and Rebecca and I are sitting in our apartment, and she has the envelope. We're sitting on the bed, and I'm terrified because I really want a
Grammys,
boy.
like-
I'm sorry. Like I just growing up with 5 sisters, I did not want to deal with a daughter. I wasn't mentally prepared for that.
You're gonna get a daughter
Like
for
like
that.
that. And then, God, I hope not now. But like I remember looking at Rebecca and I was like, listen, if it's a girl, I'm okay with that. But we're gonna get a dog because I gotta have something in my life.
Something of my own.
And she was fine either way, right? And then we opened up that envelope. It was a boy. Like I was ecstatic. We got a dog the next day, anyways. But I mean, it was. I guess so. Kind of circling back, like the difference between raising the girls and boys. I guess I don't know the difference because I don't. I think it's different when they're older for sure. Like when they're teenagers.
For me, raising Malachi was fucking easy. It was just like so easy, and he's even sent me messages like as a grown man now, is of appreciation. Like I appreciate what you did back then.
He responded to you right away.
Yeah,
He really did, and that's odd for a boy. But I think he was actually. Well, I mean, they say that all kids are looking for that discipline and that structure.
absolutely.
And he was a prime candidate. He was right at that right age where you came into his life and made a hell of a difference. You really did. I mean, I look at that kid now and go, I wonder what he would be like had you not been in his life.
Yeah, that would have been weird.
Well, I think that's why it is so important, that we have men in children's lives.
Oh.
And I think as a society, that's something we're not focusing enough on.
It's lacking.
I feel like we kind of talked about this briefly in our last podcast. We're talking about relationships and females. I made a comment about how you can tell if a woman's had a father in their life.
Oh God.
I think as a man,
True.
I think you can, again, like we said earlier, and this is just my assumption with the people I've met in the walk that I've walked. Like it is important to have a good father figure in life, but as a man, I think you can differentiate the things you liked and you didn't like, and make choices based off of those decisions to be the man you want to be.
Yeah.
I think as a female, I think it's crucially important that you have a father that's in your life, and not just there and present. You've got to love and nurture that child. That's the trick, right? Like they need to know what it feels like to be loved and safe, and with that will make them a stronger woman.
Bars. It's the truth. dating right now, that's the first question I ask a potential. Do you like your father? That tells you everything you need to know, in my opinion. What would a father have to do to his daughter for her to not like him?
Yeah.
That tells me everything I need to know.
Yeah.
Not foolproof, but sure weeds out a lot of those.
It's a lot, yeah.
Now, are you in the dating game right now?
Absolutely.
Man, he should have been part of that podcast. You should have had him in that last week.
We can do a spin-off.
We'll do another one. Yeah.
Dating's wild.
Yeah.
I don't know.
This is just something else.
That's a whole different subject.
But it is true that you can tell, and I can tell right away, the women that have had men in their lives growing up, because the respect is there.
Yeah.
The boundaries are there.
That's what it is.
Yeah.
It's-
And one fosters the other.
Yeah, it's the model of
Modeling.
you're living by example.
Sure.
And then, because I've wondered about that, maybe like worried a little bit about that, because raising Brooklyn has been such a wonderful thing. Pain in the ass. She's just like me. She is.
Yes.
Yeah.
Daddy's little Peter used to call him
She-
Daddy's little Peter.
And you know what? Like, I think, like, just, I want to say one thing
Yes.
before you continue. I think our parents truly enjoy watching us have carbon copies of
Ooh.
ourselves.
Yeah.
My
You know,
parents
like,
said
oh,
that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
parents said
Now
that's
you know.
hard. Oh,
You're going to get somebody just like you.
yeah, yeah. Sorry, continue.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
think, yeah,
No,
I'm sure your mother
I would
was
be
like,
way
you
better
know what,
parent than you."
you deserve this, Chris.
And now that's,
Here we are.
this is with karma, 100%.
Yeah, yeah.
I totally segue, but yeah, no, like, cause like I worried a little bit because like the years are done, right? She's a grown up now, and I know it's like I know that I modeled the respect, the presence,
The basics.
the what, yeah, like I modeled that, and that's how you treat your, husband, your future husband, right? But sometimes I'm like, I don't, from when I sit and reflect, when I go back, and I'm like, I know I modeled it, but did I communicate this is why, or whatever?
Yeah.
And of course, maybe we can get into that later with her or something, right?
I think we can get into it right now. I think you're talking about something that I'm going through right now with my kids. Like, I remember when they were like, we started our family when I just turned 21, and we had boom, 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 right? We had Jonathan a year and a half later. We had Christopher, I think, 2 or 3 years later than that. And that's all we had. We have those 3 boys. And I was like, hell yeah, man, I'm gonna be in my mid-40s, and kids are gonna be out of the house, and Rebecca and I are gonna be these young, healthy, vibrant,
Do
young
it.
couple,
Travel.
empty nesters and travel.
Yeah.
Like, I was looking at it from the standpoint, like, I'm a young dad. There were benefits to that, and there were things that I wish I could have done differently. But also not. Like my kids, for the first, I think, 4 or 5 years of their childhood, they lived in apartments with us as we grew up as people, right? Like, we had nothing. I started a new career as a technician. And then, we're bartending at night. Rebecca was a stay-at-home mom because that just, for us, is what seemed to make sense. Very structured. She was the mom. I was the breadwinning dad.
So just traditional.
Very traditional. And I know that's not popular this day and age or possible, but it worked for us. But it was hard. Like, we didn't have anything. Then during the recession, we couldn't afford to live on our own, so we had to move in with one of Rebecca's friends, and we shared a house with them for a while. But our kids got to like understand that struggle.
Ooh,
And
so
understand
important.
it is, and it's shaped them into the people that they are now. And then when we had big wins, they got big wins with us. Like when we got to buy our first house, or when we moved into our first house together. And then they also got to experience the big losses. Like when I would take a job that didn't go, like leave a dealership to go to another dealership, and it was a kind of a reverse move, and it didn't work out. And they got to see, like, I don't think we ever hid anything from our kids. We were more open, I think, than most of our friends were about stuff like that.
Important.
We always cuss in front of our kids because I think they're going to hear the words anyways. Might as well not make it a surprise.
I wish
You know?
everybody would think like that. Like, seriously.
And everybody, and that's a good topic too. Like, but for me, when Rebecca and I got mad at each other, we'd explain to the kids why we're mad at each other. Not that we wanted to pick sides, but like, hey, mom and dad are mad right now because of X, Y, and Z.
Right.
We just were always very transparent with our kids.
Same way.
And I think, I'm kind of circling back to what I said earlier. I remember when I was young, I was very excited for them to be this age and moving out of the house. And now that I'm there, Anthony moved out a couple months ago. Jonathan's still living with us, but he's doing online college. He's going to be moving out eventually, very soon. And Christopher's never home. And I find myself looking back to those golden years when they were 4 and 5 years old, and I miss that so much.
Yeah, moving out now, you start thinking.
Yeah, and it's like, you don't like. Even though I remember thinking about it as a young man, like knowing, looking at like my parents' reaction to as I moved out and how they were sad that I wasn't there anymore, and they were reminiscing. I just didn't get it.
God,
like,
I was like, bye, fool.
Yeah, but I knew I had 18 years, and I look back and did I actually use that time efficiently?
Yeah, that's what he was saying too. Just the thinking back. Okay, did I communicate that well enough?
Yeah.
And it's happening to me right now also. My daughter's made some questionable choices, which made me question. Was that because of something that I did?
Yeah.
Did I show her that?
Yep.
Which is why she now is, it's almost like she's following a path that I laid. I've made some mistakes. I mean, God knows I've made some mistakes. Atonement is another thing. At her age, I'm not sure she realizes that there's going to be some atonement there. But I'm watching her follow the natural consequence path.
Yeah.
Like, of course, you play fire, you're going to get burnt. We try to teach them that early.
Yeah.
But we all had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
Ouch. We all had to learn the hard way.
Yeah.
But the older you get, the bigger the consequences and the bigger the. So I'm watching her now, and I'm like you said, I'm asking myself, God, is that because of what she fuck I did?
Yeah.
Did she follow my fucking footsteps? God, I don't know. So I started questioning some of my decisions that I know she watched.
Yeah.
I know she saw me through it.
Yeah. That's a good point, because we need to. Everybody needs to understand. Our kids are smarter than we think. Even at a young age. I was reading. I was listening to a podcast, and they were speaking about Anne Frank. This was, I think she was 10 or 11 when she wrote that book, or that diary that became a book.
Diary of Anne Frank?
Yeah, and if you listen to the words what this girl was processing at that age, we disregard what an 11 and a 10-year-old are actually thinking this day and age.
That is so true.
And I think that's the biggest mistake a lot of parents make, is they disregard how how intelligent their kids are and how much they're grasping. I guess there's another word for it, but that's. I mean, I see it all the time with when my boys were young. I was like, oh damn, he saw that. Okay,
I hear my daughter saying, "Oh, she's 7. She ain't gonna." I'm like, wait a fucking minute.
Yeah.
What makes you think her brain don't fucking function like yours does?
Right.
She can hear, smell, see, think just like you.
Yeah.
What makes you think that she don't understand what you? I told her all the time. Stop fighting in front of your kids for one, and stop telling your kids all kind of shit. Well, she says to me, "I want my son to be aware of his emotions and be in charge of his emotions. I don't hide anything from him. I want him to grow up in a safe place." I said, "Is it some social construct TikTok bullshit? What the fuck?" I was so mad.
Yeah.
What are you talking about? I was so mad at her. Because it's just so, to me, it's unreasonable.
Yeah.
In this day and age. No, you want him in the mud. You want him, you want him in that chokehold so he knows that
That's where the growth is.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's
Sometimes
where
you
you
get choked.
Yeah. So back to men being in a child's life, I think, and when I look at young men that have grown up without a father in their life or a good father in their life, they're very they're
Emotional?
very emotional, and it's because it's been.
Why are you singling me out, bro? What the fuck? I'm not emotional. God,
they've been taught that it's like they've been allowed to make excuses.
Where's our safe space? Michael?
It's on TikTok, I think.
So you gotta go over there. Where is that?
But I mean, true, right?
I'll speak from absolute experience. It's 100% true. I was raised by a single mom. She was a phenomenal mom. She did teach me some of those traits, though, keep your word. I remember she made me do that, and I cried like a little baby because I didn't get to go do something. I can't remember the whole story, but I remember the moment, right? She did teach me some of the chivalry stuff, the door. She would stand in front of a door,
And wait for you.
oh yeah, open the door. And I'll be, oh fuck. So now I'm always opening the door, right? But that's, aside from that. But I missed out on all the other stuff, right? I didn't have a father. I didn't have a dad, but I also didn't have a father figure growing up through life, right? And so fighting is where I learned the discipline, the structure, and what respect is, and how that, I don't know the right word for that, but like all the different levels of it and how it's applied and what it means to respect this person this way and then this person this way, and disagree with this person and I don't even like this person, but I respect that person. So fighting is where I learned all of that stuff, right?
Which is a huge life skill.
Yeah. So like, again, yeah, you will act, because, everything for me is like the whole internal thing. That's this thing I'm going through right now in life is, so growing up, I didn't really know or have respect for myself. So if I didn't have it for myself, then how the hell am I going to give it anywhere else, or even know what it is when somebody else is giving it to me, right? These are learned skills, right? And so, going through childhood without that, and then learning it in, as a young man, so that, yes. So anyways, just tying it back, like that's my experience, that's my life. That doesn't mean every kid that's growing up without a male father or whatever figure is going to have the same thing, but I bet ridiculous money that it's a thing.
Yeah. It is a thing. I think especially with men, I've definitely known a lot of young men growing up with I'll just say single parent, mainly single.
Can I pause for a minute? So let's define that first.
Okay.
Define.
Single parent. A single parent is somebody that has a child and is doing both roles on their own.
Okay.
That's a single parent. If you have a child with somebody and you both split,
that's co-parenting.
That's co-parenting.
You get child support. They're gone every other day. One week on, 1 week off. That's co-parenting. That's not single parent.
Okay.
So
I think that's a very good point to make.
I get a little adamant about that shit.
Yeah, me too. I was a single parent.
Yeah, I was a single parent-ish through life. I had some help throughout the way, and I'll be the first one to be like, I had help,
Well, to your point though, circling back to the topic, it is important to, even if you're a single parent, it's important, even if you're a co-parent, it's important to put the stronger people. Like, I had no idea when my daughter became of age where she started her menses. I had no idea what to do with that. But what I did was I put strong women in her life. I made sure I called my sister, hey, she's come live with you for 6 months because I don't know what the fuck's going on.
I don't even know who that is.
She's a different person. Right?
You call it proof. I think we need an exorcism. I don't know what's going on here.
Church?
Yeah, there's a demon.
Story.
We need antidepressants.
But it's the same thing for males.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's important to
That
put
coming
strong
of age?
men in their life.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
For instance, Malachi.
Yeah.
It was important for him that you showed up in his life. It was really important for him to have a strong male in your life, to actually give you some modeling as to what a real man looks like, what real men do, what they say, what respect looks like, what disrespect looks like, which is huge for men. Not so much for women. Women are loyal to their emotions, and men are loyal to respect. I mean, it's just who we are.
What it is.
Yeah.
I agree.
I look back at my childhood, and again, I had a great dad. But me and him were very different people. We liked different things, right? So, like, he was kind of into fishing, and I've never been a fisher. I've always liked cars. But like,
that might be what's up with the three of us.
But like I remember when I was in middle school and high school, I started running. I got into cross country. I had an amazing cross country coach that in a way was a father to me. Like, I learned so much from him and other men on the cross country team and other men in my life that I picked up things that I liked about that. And I remember that resonating with me is like, I got a good dad, but he's him. And there are other skills that other men have that he doesn't have that will make me a more rounded man. And when I became a parent, I was very cognizant of that. So when my kids started going into sports, I never got involved in sports just because it was really, really important for me to not helicopter around them and have other men in their lives. And I think that's what we became really good friends too. for both of us, like I was at that time in Brooklyn's life, she considered me kind of second dad, other dad.
Yeah.
And I did things for her that you weren't good at, or have the time for it. But you did the same thing for my kids. You gave them a lot of structure that I just didn't have as a person, right? Mm-hmm. So like it was kind of as a friendship, like we got to co-parent in a weird way as well, especially during 2020 and like.
But I think men in general do that.
Yes.
I don't know that, and I think it's mainly because we recognize a hierarchy. It's what you said, things that you're good at, things that I'm good at. Mm-hmm. I think men, we recognize that in each other. Absolutely.
Yeah. And that's why we're buddies, right?
Yes.
Differs in women. Men, we will play sports. We grow up this way. We grow up playing sports, hierarchy. Mm-hmm. Who's going to do what?
Yeah.
Like I'm the quarterback. You can catch. So you're the receiver.
You're the
catcher.
We
do that.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, girls, they grow up playing games like hopscotch. They play games that don't really have
There's no hierarchy.
There's no hierarchy.
Yeah.
So and then when they come to an impasse, the game's over.
Yeah.
Like guys, when we come to an impasse, okay, we shoot it out. First one to three, that's what we do.
Yeah. So this kind of relates, but something I dealt with last night. So my youngest son, Christopher, I went to homecoming, right? Oh. And it's just so funny to me. Like you see, like it's in a small group of men, right, or boys, and they're all wearing the exact same thing. Black shirt, black tie, or whatever, right? Black shirt, black shoes, whatever. And the girls are wearing entirely different things. And that if two girls go to the same dance wearing the same fucking dress,
the dance is over.
It's fucking over, yeah. Yeah, there's a tough war now, right?
Like, you need to go change.
Like, you look at men, right? We have the same black wallet, right? Like every dude likely has the same wallet. Girls have a different purse. It's, I don't know. Maybe it's just funny. Like I just remember watching that last night. I was like, it's
the importance.
That's that's our structure, though.
Yes,
mm-hmm.
Yes.
I'll go to the same.
Yeah, thank you for relating to it. I was going on a tangent, but you made sense of it. Thank you for that.
That's our structure. If I don't have, dude, I don't even know how I made it this far in life. But if I don't have structure moving forward, I don't know.
I'm lost.
Adam and I won't be friends. He'll be like, you got to go to jail. I got to take you. Like this, you can't be doing this.
But we need people in our lives like that, right? Like I look at the people that I really care about in my life, and they do recognize that I'll call it hierarchy or alpha in every single situation, mm-hmm. right? Like you and me, for instance, you are definitely alpha in certain things, and there are things like food and cooking that I'm better at.
I will agree with
that. But men, we come together on that kind of stuff, and we recognize that in each other, which is...
And then we start placing.
I almost think as men, we all, like, at least I do this in my head, right? Like, we've all seen The Walking Dead. And we're like, who's going to be my five guys? Like when the world ends, like who are the people in my circle that we're gonna get together and rally and we're gonna survive? You know what I mean?
Where's all my military men?
Right? Where are my guys?
Foxhole buddies.
But speaking of which, military women,
mm-hmm.
military girls,
military. Okay.
My daughter wanted to join the military, and I'm a military dad, so I raised her like that.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't want her to do it.
Mm-hmm.
Now I don't know if it was for my own selfish reasons or if it's because I knew how they would treat her.
Yeah.
And as much as I hate to admit it, they do treat women differently in the military. They just do. Well, for instance, they don't go to battle.
Yeah.
And if they do, they don't go on the front line.
No, they shouldn't either. I don't think that's right. How do you feel about that, though, being a military man?
Oh, sticky situation for me.
I guess I'll speak my thought on that before I throw you out there. Like I think when women go to battle, my concern is if they get captured, they're going to be treated differently.
Oh, absolutely.
Than men.
All the way around. And men are, when they're in the heat of battle, and men see that they're about ready to get captured, we will put everybody and ourselves in danger on this chivalry mission,
mm-hmm.
right? We would sacrifice the team on this chivalry mission because
for that one.
Yeah, for that one, which is. That's not code.
Yeah.
It's not code. If you get caught out there, there's two types of soldiers, quick and dead. You get caught out there, you wasn't quick enough. I mean, it's the truth. And that's one of the reasons that they really don't put females in those positions because men, it's what we do. It's who we are. We're protectors and providers. That's what we do. Even if a perfect stranger's getting beat up on the streets and the guy's beating the hell out of this woman, we're going to jump in.
Mm-hmm.
The girl men do.
Yeah, men do.
Mm-hmm. Why? What is that? did we get raised with that? Is it innate? Is it something that's
I
we're
kind of
born
did.
with?
Like my mom was like,
Don't hit
when I was
women.
young,
You
yeah,
make
don't
sure
hit
you
women.
protect.
Yeah. Or
It's
like,
not-
I
it's
think I hit
different
my
now.
sister once, and my mom's like, "Hey,
Oh, I beat the hell out of my
Don't you
sisters.
fuck-
Oh, dude,
all the
yeah.
time.
ever hit
Only
me."
fist fights I've ever been in. With my sisters.
First fist fight was with my mom. She beat the shit out of me. She's like, "Don't you hit your sister like that ever? Don't you ever hit her?" I was like,
But
"That's traumatized."
I think, personally, I agree with the military's take on that because I've seen it live.
Yeah.
You know, and it happens. Men, we put ourselves in harm's way. I was telling my girlfriend once, I said, you know, one of the things that happens when a man falls in love with a woman is the first thing he says is, "Oh shit." She says, "Why?" Because now he's thinking, I'm gonna have to jump in front of a train for this woman. I'm gonna protect her. But a woman goes, "Oh my God, we're gonna have a wedding and we're gonna."
Yep,
She's
yep.
thinking along those terms.
Yeah.
Entirely different things.
Yeah. And we're going, fuck.
Man, yep.
This is gonna cost
Well,
me.
yeah, yep.
In more
Well,
ways
but
than
not,
one.
it's not that we don't care, it's because we do care, right? Like, how do
Yeah.
I protect this person?
Yeah.
It's kind of like when I talk about like when Anthony was born and that fear that I had. That is what happens when you realize that you
Kicks
love
in,
somebody.
man.
It's like, oh my God.
Yep.
Like I care. Like I need to make sure this person is safe.
Yeah.
I need to make sure that I am there for them, that they have everything that they could ever want.
Yeah.
You know.
Instinct kicks in.
Yeah.
It's the truth.
So I was having a conversation last night about not that, but kind of like that, right? So like leadership is a skill, following is a skill, providing. Let's go just provision across the board. Provision is a skill. We have that innate. Let's say, what did you call it?
Instinct.
Instinct, right? So the capacity for it is there,
Yeah.
but those are all still skills that you have. Going out and getting a real person job and making money, and then learning how to pay bills. That's all skill sets.
Yeah. But
Learn-
also too, that showing your kids why you're doing that, right? Like so many men this day and age, like, oh, that job's below me. It's like, also you don't have one. So,
Yeah.
like, is it below you? Like, what are you teaching your kid right now? That it's you hold your ground and keep your ego and don't feed the family because you deserve a management job. You know, like I'll speak
Yeah.
for myself. There was a time when I lost my job recently, a couple of years ago, and I remember when that happened, like it hurt. It hit my ego real hard,
yeah.
and I didn't think I deserved it, but whatever. And I remember Anthony watching me as I processed that, and I didn't catch it right away. Rebecca let me know. He was very, very scared because he knew that I was the one at the time. Rebecca had just stopped working at the restaurant,
Yeah.
and then I lost my job.
Oh, damn.
And we went from having a very high income family to no income family, and he was aware of that. So it was important to me at that time when I recognized that he sees me do this right. And at that time, you know, I kind of included the family in the situation. Right? Here's the situation. Like, I want to become a manager again, but at the end of the day, like, I got to take care of the family. So that means I got to go back to not management, just finding a job that pays the bills. Like, that's what I'm going to do. Because like at the end of the day, this has to work, and you guys need to understand that. Sometimes you got to put your ego away. And you got to do the right thing.
You always have to put your ego away.
Men can do
Always.
that.
Yeah,
Men can do
they
that.
need to do that more because I think we're growing up in a society where that's not happening enough now.
Can women do that?
But
Can women put egos away?
I think it's difficult for them.
It's different, but I do think they can.
Well, everyone has the capacity.
Everybody has a capacity, but I think it's how do you get to that point? Like, how do
You
you?
have to be humbled.
Woo, buddy,
Not
buddy.
humble. You have to be humbled. You have to be, and I have been humbled
Something
by
has to
women.
happen.
I've gotten
Yeah.
beat up by girls.
Yeah.
Like I have been humbled, and so since I have been humbled, I know how to walk in that. I think again, that's kind of what I was talking about a moment ago. Like, was just because I'm a male doesn't mean I'm a man. I think men as a skill set.
Bars.
It's a skill set. So all the things a man learns, knows, does, models, teaches, those are all skills. I have the capacity to do all that, to learn all that, to have and then execute, right? I have the capacity for that, but I have to learn all that stuff. Same thing with being humble. And how do I set this ego down? Because mine is fucking huge. I've got a big.
We all
fucking ego.
have one. We have to.
No, mine's like
acknowledge
the
that.
biggest.
It used to have. Yeah,
Mine's bigger than yours.
You
Way
have,
more
You have the best ego.
Way more future.
But no, it's a skill set. Like,
Yeah.
all right, how do I set this fucker down? Because this guy keeps costing me. How do I set it down?
Yeah.
And for me, I learned that by being humbled, and that's it. Like,
That's how you set it down.
yeah,
Because it'll sit your ass down. If you can't put it down, it'll put you down.
Yep.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah. Getting beat up by a female. Her name's Emma.
Damn.
We were
trauma here.
Oh yeah, that's a very masculine
I was minding
name.
my own business, coloring over in the corner.
Color
I got beat
Earl.
up by
Color
Molly.
Earl.
And then everybody's like, "Ooh, let's go do kickboxing rounds." And I'm like, that's just a girl. And she beat the fuck out of my legs, man. I couldn't walk, so my ego's like crawling out the door, right? And I'm just like, I'm fine. I don't even hurt. I can't walk.
Yeah.
I think
You
it's,
just
I
do
think
to
you're
me.
right, though, it's harder for women to put that away. I've been dealing a lot with that with females that are in the dating game. Oh boy.
We're gonna have to do another one on.
Oh,
That's a whole podcast on its own. You know, to be honest, I don't understand so much why that is.
I think we gotta stay on topic. But
Yeah, I know.
I've been
It's
thinking-
very easy to
Why
go,
they can't
"Oh,
put
that
their
might be
ego
good."
away?
Yeah, like I can relate to myself. I can relate to us. I can relate to a man.
I think
You
I
know,
got
how
it.
to think. Okay.
Go for
I think I got it.
solving
I
problems.
think so many women are in survival mode right now.
Yeah.
I think so many women, and particularly the ones that haven't had the dad in their lives, they are in survival mode. I even opened the door for a woman and she got pissed. I was like, "Are you fucking kidding me right now?"
Yeah.
And I kind of wanted to slam it on her, you know, like, "Fucking bitch, what are you kidding me right now?" Oh, what do you think? I can't open my? I'm like, whoa, what?
I've opened doors and I don't even get no look,
Nothing.
no nothing. Just
See, but that's where we are right now, and I don't know
You're
if it's a generational thing. Well, I mean, it has to be.
It has to be generational.
It has to be.
Yeah.
There's a generation behind me, and for me, I guess that's you guys.
I don't think that it's. I think it is a generation thing, but I also think that it's not just a generation thing, and that's something that I've been thinking about and I've been writing about and trying to process and stuff like that. But there's a disconnect. There's quite a few disconnects, and one of those disconnects is we want it to be like the way that it was because it worked that way. Well, we're no longer there, so we can't go back to this whole traditional thing.
No.
It's
Oh
not-
God, I don't
so
want to know that.
we have
Oh.
to find a common. Well, okay, we have to find a common ground. If we're not going to go back there, and we have to move forward, and the only way to move forward is to move forward together. You don't get to move forward without. You always have to have your
But they
team.
think they are now. I don't need a man.
Well, yeah.
So many women are there.
That's a
Don't need a man.
Yeah.
Don't need a man until, of course, I said, well, then do your own breaks. Well, I'll just go hire one. But that's a man.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah.
But that's a different. That's one of the disconnects.
You're pouring out your brakes right now.
Oh my God.
You know, my ex right now, we're there. We're there. She says, well, I don't need a man. Well, okay, that's all well and good. Your roof is leaking. What do you think you can come over and... What? Okay, so being the kind of guy I am, okay, sure. Even though we're not a couple anymore, I don't want to see her, again, the instinct.
Yeah.
Protect. I don't want to see her, yeah. So I'm going, okay, I'll come over there. Well, I'll never forget her comment. It made me go, well, fuck you, I don't want to come over there. She says, well, I don't want you to think that I need you.
Oh God, yeah.
She says, I don't want you to think I need a man. I said, okay, well, if it'll make you feel better, pay me.
Yeah. There you go.
Oh, that's just rude. Oh, well, wait a minute.
What?
Yeah.
Do you not see what's going
Now,
on?
listen, if I don't do it, you're going to call a man to do it. Unless, of course, you know the Woman Roofers Club that I don't know about.
Right. You know, I think so. To that point, you know, it's just like in the gym, right? Like, there's no excuses, right? You don't allow for excuses. You don't allow, like, if you can't do the
There's
sets,
excuses, but
there are excuses, but yet you know
Just
that's not what we're here
excuses,
for, right?
yeah.
Like,
There's no success rate.
yeah, exactly. And I think like we're not going to solve this today or anytime soon, likely. But for the fix of this, like we live in a world where now women do need to work because you can't afford to provide
single
for a
income
family.
households right now? There
It's
are
not
none.
a thing. Yeah,
There
I mean
are
they
none.
do exist, but they're very
Not in this-
few and far between.
especially not in this
right?
state. I mean,
So
it's a state.
especially in this state. You know, what's the median house out here in this area? Is it 800?
435,000. I saw it yesterday.
I think it's higher than that. Like in Lake Stevens for
Oh,
sure.
Lake Stevens.
It's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
700 or 800,000 or
Oh yeah, I
600.
forgot. I'm in a lower. I'm in Granite, so yeah.
Okay.
A little different.
But like, I mean, that's just like, I mean, and then like with, you know, it just doesn't pencil, right? So like you do need, unfortunately, you do need mothers working in most families to survive. But I think what needs to happen is you have to recognize the strengths and the weaknesses of both sexes, and parent that way, right? The mother is going to have strengths that the father doesn't have, right? As fathers raising daughters, you were at a disadvantage because there were things that a mother could just do better than you. It is what it is. No hard feelings. It's genetics, right? You know, me and Rebecca, like I look at how we raised our kids, like there were definitely things that she was better at than I was, and there were definitely things that I was better at than she was.
But
you know?
statistically, men have a better success rate. Single fathers have a better success rate with the outcome of their children than women as single.
And that is true.
It's true.
I think as men we try not to offend, especially the women. So we tiptoe around emotions and feelings, especially when you're raising girls.
Yeah.
Oh my God, I do that on such a regular basis. I have to stop myself and I tell my daughter, look, we're not doing that anymore. Now it's the tough love thing. You know, if that's even a thing anymore. I grew up like that. You know, tough love. I think we tiptoe around feelings enough that we enable a lot of that. You know, so for me, that was something I really had to be aware of. Like, how much of that do I allow? How much of that woe is me and well, nobody's gonna like me, and how much of that do I actually allow?
Right.
And that it doesn't just go for females, because young boys, we're there too. You know, well, I got no friends and nobody picked me on the basketball team. Right? We go through that as boys too, but I think boys kind of push each other out of that shit.
Yeah.
By making statements like, well, I'd be a little bitch.
Can I make maybe a very profound statement on to what you're saying
absolutely.
there? This is kind of controversial, but I'll say this is how I feel right now, and I feel I have facts to prove it. When you look at the baby boomer generation, there were actually, we don't talk about this, but there were a lot of mothers raising children without dads.
Yep.
There were a lot of men that got killed in World War II. There were a lot of widows out there, and they did not have the same problem that we have right now. And if you ask me, the problem that we have right now is we have glorified the single mom generation.
Absolutely.
You know, and I'm not being disrespectful. I'm not trying to be. I'm
It's
just
just
stating
the truth.
facts.
Yeah.
Right. There's like so many movies. There's so many actors out there. There's so many podcasts and all these things glorifying the single mom movement. I'll call it.
They're paying for it.
Yes. But
They're opting for that.
and when you do that, you're enabling ego.
Ooh.
Okay, which is what we were just talking about.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any enabling egos to single dads. I don't think it's even talked about. So I think we just kind of, and I'm only, you guys get to carry that conversation because I'm not one, but like there's no, single dad podcast or like, praise be the single dad or, you know what I mean? There's none of that.
Unsung heroes, and that's the
Yeah.
truth, man. And I'm not
Yeah.
trying to pat myself on the back. I'm just saying, we don't get no recognition.
We don't get it because we don't need it.
Absolutely
We're
not.
not supposed to have
That's
it.
back to the ego thing.
Yeah.
Well,
I
maybe-
take care of my kids. You're fucking supposed to.
Yeah. Like I said, I ain't never been to jail. You ain't supposed to go to jail.
Right? You're supposed to do that. That's your
You
job.
want a cookie or
That's
something?
your job.
Right.
So you don't get on the rooftop and shout, I'm a single whatever.
Yep.
I'm a single parent. Give me praise, feed my ego.
Mm-hmm.
You're
People ask
supposed
me-
to be a parent. You're supposed to.
was it?
That's a job.
People ask me, how was it? Wasn't it hard being a single dad? I don't fucking know. I just did it.
Yeah.
I just did it.
Yeah. Is there how do you measure that?
Well, and I think you both said at the very beginning, we were talking about our experiences and what it was like to become a dad, how that felt. You guys both said the same things. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, kind of like we were talking about love, too. Like, when you realize that moment that you're in love, it's not unicorns and rainbows. It's like, oh my God, I care about this person. I need to make sure this person's safe.
Yep.
And I think a little bit of that is like you start gut checking yourself, and you're like, okay, where am I lacking in my skill set that I have what tools in my toolbox right now
We
do I not have?
We
Yeah.
do it.
Because now we're like, fuck, I don't have this tool. I gotta go get this fucking
gotta
tool.
go get it.
Because this one is like, I gotta put all this other into this is a whole new area. And yeah, so it's like, that's what we have the capacity, but we have to learn all these skills. Anyway, yeah.
And you guys also kind of hit on something too, kind of that relates to that. Like when you were in situations where you're having daughters and it was just not your skill set at that moment to be dealing with puberty or whatever it was, you had no problem finding people that you could bring into your life that could do that.
Yep.
You know?
And I made no mistake, but this is what your gig is today.
Yeah.
This is what I need from you.
Yeah.
A lot of people walk around those subject matters. A lot of people will not just say, now I hate to sound chauvinistic, but I think women don't come out. I think women, they delusion, not delusion, I apologize. That's that word, but they lie to each
Next
other.
take.
They lie to each other. They
Yeah.
don't.
They enable.
That's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I didn't, like I said, circling back to exactly where we're here at, how much of that do you allow?
Well, I think too, like,
raising
you
your
know,
kids, right?
Yeah.
Like that for Brooklyn, right? Like, Jesus Christ. Yeah, so I think I told the story before, but I remember the first time that I raised my voice at her, and I just saw her crumble, and I broke her. And I was like, oh shit!
Oh man, God, I remember.
I
Yeah.
felt so small, not like a man. I fucked that up. So that was the first moment where I'm like, I lack that skill, so I need to. So I started doing research, and I started reading books, and I started figuring out feelings and emotions and the separate of those, and how do we identify them, and how do we it's because I have to learn it, because I have to teach her.
Yeah.
You know, how to do that, because there was a lot of trauma from her early baby years between whatever happened there,
Yeah, when
and
you
it was
were there.
all coming out when I got her.
Yeah.
When I got custody, it was all coming out. Little taps on the door in the middle of the night, like walking by the room, and she's just crying, and you know. So I had to learn how to walk her through that and guide her own. So so yeah, it's a very difficult, because like at a certain point, it's like, look, we can talk about these feelings and these emotions, but now we need to fucking start doing plans and systems.
Yeah,
now you need to
that.
start executing those plans and
Yup.
those systems. Or here's some coping mechanisms that can help you navigate and move through that, whatever the moment or whatever that is, right? And then, you know, and then once you get all past that, then it's like, okay, well, you know, here we are again. Let's look back. Let's look for that truth. You made it this far. What did you do before that helped you get through that moment? What was that? Your breathing? Was that you were writing it down? Was that you were just singing? What was that coping mechanism? And then what did you know? And then you go internal, like who's responsible for you and who's responsible for them, right? And it's not right and it ain't fair, but you got. It's your responsibility to heal that. It's your responsibility to face it and walk deeper into that darkness, because the only way out is through.
That's self-worth talk right there, brother.
So,
well, and you know,
like,
to
seriously.
that point, like, you know, do you think at any point it's easier raising kids, or does it get harder for different reasons?
I think if
Like, you know, you look at like when they were toddlers,
Uh-huh.
right, to when they're like, you know, preteens, teens, young adults. Like as I navigate that with my children, I just found that it didn't get easier. It just changed.
Yeah.
You know?
yeah, every season changes.
Change.
Yeah.
I don't know if harder or easier
That's
is the terminology. I think
Subjective.
I think change is what it really is.
Yeah.
My dad used to tell me the only thing in your life that you will find that is consistent is change.
Yeah.
And you don't understand that when you're 15.
Nope.
By the time you're 18, it's amazing at how much they learned.
Yeah.
But it's the truth with that. I can't say easier, harder. I think we do ourselves a disservice sometimes because we guide our kids. When they get to a certain age, we can't tell them anymore.
Right.
We guide.
Yeah.
You know, we either guide with a hard hand or a gentle push, or depending upon what your parenting style is.
Yeah.
But you figure that out once the circumstances start to change. You figure out what kind of guidance you did.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, then you start to question yourself. Now she's going down the wrong road. Did I do that? Then you start to question yourself. So easy or harder, depends on the circumstances, depending on how you handle that, how you raise them,
Yeah.
right?
I think, yeah, in the very beginning, very beginning,
The cognitive,
structure,
yeah, buddy.
discipline. I get the nurture, absolutely do that, and overdo it,
Yeah.
right? Absolutely. And Brooklyn actually missed out on a lot of that nurture because I'm not a very good nurturer. I suck at it.
But she is, what she gained though is that discipline, dude.
Yeah, but but obviously both are necessary. You need to nurture the shit out of them, and
But we're
you
not
have to
nurturers
have-
as men.
Yeah, but you have to have that structure and discipline, and if you put that in there, in the very beginning, then that's just something that gets built on. Raising Brooklyn was kind of like wild, to say the least, right? But I instilled the structure and discipline within her that I don't know how to say it. It was obviously never easy, but it was like there was an understanding. There was always an understanding, like, okay, I don't like Dad's decision, but this is what we're doing.
Dad's decision.
Dad made the call,
Yeah.
but I obviously offered space.
See, that's what's missing. That right there, that element right there is key.
Yeah.
It really is.
Yeah.
Because she accepted the fact that it was your decision.
Yeah,
That's respect.
yeah, that's respect.
You showed her that. Okay, now look, we're here. We're at this crossroads.
Yeah.
And it's time for me to make a decision, or it's time for one of us to make a decision. And since
Right.
I made it, you have to be okay with it.
I think so. That's actually a really, really good topic, right? We live in a world right now where I think a lot of parents want their kids to feel they get to make decisions.
Oh God, yeah.
And they don't. It's just
the
like a
worst
business,
idea.
right?
It sure the hell is.
Like bad managers will like let their employees make decisions that just because that like it's a democracy. Like, oh, what do you guys want to do? Oh, you only work 3 days a week? Well, if that's what you want, we'll do that. That's not how the business functions.
Going out
right?
of business.
No,
Right?
yeah.
Close it down.
Like I'm as a manager or a business owner, I'm going to make the decision, and guess what? If I make the wrong decision, I'm going to be the first one to tell you that's my bad.
Yeah.
Right. So as a parent, it's the same thing, right? Like when we are looking at moving or doing anything that might not be popular for the family, as the head of the household, like you have to be the one that owns that, and the kids need to see that. They need to see, you know
Absolutely.
what? I'm the father. I'm the head of the household. We're doing this decision because I think that this is the best decision for the family, and it's going to work or it doesn't. And if it doesn't, you also own that.
Got to look at the head of the household.
Yeah, don't
Yep.
blame your, like, because so many people do this. This is unhealthy. They make a bad decision and then they start like blaming the wife and blaming the kids. Well,
Yeah.
you got no,
Yeah.
own it, fucking
Yeah.
own it.
So in that model that you just said is good stuff, obviously. But what happens there is now when you make a mistake, it's not, what's that taboo? It's not shameful to make the mistake. It's a mistake can be made. The important thing is to be accountable for
Own
it.
it.
Teach them accountability.
Right? Teach it. That's where they learn that, right? And then come up with whatever we need to move forward,
Yep.
right, and not be in the same spot. And so that being modeled gets taken out into the real world when they become an adult, right? They start taking accountability for I fucked up, and they don't feel like they're gonna get raked over the coals, right?
Yeah.
So we don't make the mistake and just be like, well, I'm not gonna say that's fine. Or I make the mistake and I'm like, yeah, I watched this growing up. My dad made a mistake,
Yep.
and he owned it, and it kind of sucked. But as we moved forward,
Yep.
he grew as a man, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
Because my dad's my hero, right? So then, so now in the real world, he'll execute that.
Yeah.
as
I think
such.
that's missing. I think
It
that's
is.
missing.
Well, that's what I was saying earlier. We'll have to do another podcast on that, but that's the disconnect.
Mm-hmm.
Everything is disconnected first here, and there's a lot of disconnect here, right? And once we get back to like understanding, and you ask the question, whoever, right? And I've been doing that lately. Who are you? People will be like, I'm general manager of whatever, or I'm what, and they start giving the titles or what they do. I was like, no. I want to know who you are. Who are you?
But I got a question. Would you prefer, if you had to lose one of these topics, discipline, boundary, structure. If you had to operate without one of those, what would it be?
Ooh, oh, fuck.
Right?
Anarchy.
Well, I mean,
I
sometimes
can't.
we do. Sometimes that's where we operate. Sometimes we operate in...
That's true, in the chaos.
Right.
Yeah.
Sometimes,
But you have to get rid of one.
if you had to get rid of one of those, which would it be? Which would you be more comfortable operating without?
Probably structure.
We define boundary.
Um,
I feel like that would be the one I'd be okay with.
I don't think you can operate without them, though, at all.
Well, discipline and structure are so similar too.
indeed.
Yeah.
Well, and one begets the other.
Yeah, yeah.
But the boundary for me, this is strictly my opinion, is we decided. Example: we decided as a couple we're not doing that.
Okay.
This is a line. Right here, we're
That's a
not.
tough one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yeah.
But at times you have to adjust that.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the boundary moves. They call it moving the goalpost, but that's not always the case.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes you have to move the boundary to you or further from you.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think I would operate without structure. Also, I think for me, I think I can grab some structure from a boundary being set.
Yeah.
I think I can grab some structure by disciplining something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I think it's built into those, you know. But then again, I can probably operate without boundaries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, living on the wild side, like eating dessert first, but
Yeah.
but I think I can operate without boundaries too.
I like
You know,
dessert.
and I think we all do those things. We shuffle and move.
Yeah.
You know, with the times or the day or the scenario or the circumstance.
Yeah.
You know, but if I had my choice, if I had to leave one, I think it'd probably be boundaries.
How are we doing on time?
We should probably get into wrapping it up. Let me read. So this is for each of us, right? The most important lesson fatherhood has taught me. I can go first if you want, unless you.
Nope, if you go first, if you know what that is.
Oh. It is the moment that I couldn't speak at my mom's celebration of life, and Brooklyn stood up and spoke for me. And she carried the room. She carried me. That was a lesson I learned. That if you do a good job, if you do a really, really good job, they will carry you later in life.
Yeah.
Or in moments, right?
Yeah.
Later down the road, right? So, like, I'm not obviously the best dad. I mean, I've made some good mistakes, but I've also done a pretty damn good job too, right? Because she's a good human. I mean, I mean, I think there's all these, how do you measure that, you know? But that's one way of measuring it. You can also measure it when they come to you just because they have to.
Yeah.
Or they FaceTime you while they're with their boyfriend, and hey, what are you doing, Dad? You know, I have like 3 voicemails this morning from her because she's just like, Dad, I'm getting ready for blah, blah, blah. And then she's like, you know, whatever's right.
But I brought this up a couple podcasts ago, or maybe at the last one, but you know, I feel as you wrote the book, you got more in touch with yourself and your feelings, and you got more in touch with her. And I don't think as a father you were a loving, cuddling father.
Yes, I was.
you do you, okay.
Fucking
Okay, Chris Zigo. But
It's called a chokehold, I think.
but you are now, right? And she I think I wanted to say that, you know, kind of wrapping into that, you know, young men raised by single moms are kind of allowed excuses because they see that in how they're raised. But they can find structure, and I've seen it. Like I've seen guys like that, like when they graduate high school, they're raised by a single mom, and they're just kind of, I want to say, like they just don't get it. They everything's an excuse. Can't come to work on time. Like the sniffles are calling out. Like they just make excuses for everything. But then they get a hold of something, or they meet someone, and then they find that structure. They find that discipline. They see the romance in it, or the attraction to it, the worth to it, and they get it. you know, so that can be changed. And I think like what you did with Brooklyn, like you became a loving father, and you guys talk more about things, and she's grasping on that, and she's becoming a much stronger woman because you're being that dad now, you know. So that to that point, like we never stop, right?
Different seasons.
Different seasons, you know.
She's 37 now.
Yeah, my situation, a couple days ago, one of my boys called me. I was driving home from a meeting in Portland, and he's like, "Hey, do you have a long time to talk?" And I was like,
long time to talk?
"Okay, well, I guess
you
I'm
should
driving."
go.
You know?
I
So
know
I
how this is
called
gonna
him,
go.
and he just broke down in tears, and he was so scared and so depressed and so disappointed in himself because he's just not doing what he thought he'd be doing right now in his life.
Oh man.
And as a father, that crushed me. But two things happened. One, I felt very, very privileged that I was the first person he called. You know, that meant more than that was that moment for me. It was like, you know what? I raised this kid right.
Yeah.
He trusts me. Like he wants to hear what I have to say. And I just remember, like, we talked for over an hour, you know, and you know, I gave him my experiences. I didn't push him in any way. I didn't enable him to feel that was, you know, okay or not. But I said, listen, you're 18 years old. You know, I remember when I was 18, 19 years old, I felt the same way because like you just get out of high school, like your friends are going to college, there's all these, you're in a point in your life where there's so many forks in the road, and any little turn you make is going to completely change the outcome of your life. And it's scary, but it's not. It's actually kind of a beautiful thing. It just means there's so many, because guess what? 10 years down the road, you're in the same spot. All these forks in the road, and they can change change the course of your life. You know what's scary is when you don't do anything, and then life makes those changes for
When
you.
you don't have no forks.
When you don't have the forks, exactly. You know, so it doesn't like just embrace your age, embrace where you're at, and just make a choice. And if it's own it,
There it
right?
is.
Trust the process and own it. Because guess what? If it doesn't work, like, okay, fine. Now you know that didn't work, and you can rest assured the rest of your life that you're not going to regret doing that. You know? Like maybe he moves out of state and it was a complete failure, disaster.
Right?
He's not like, you know, like he's not going to regret that. It's like, yeah, I tried that, didn't work. You know what? Not thinking about it at 80 years old because, you know, you got it out of your system.
So the question was?
The most important lesson fatherhood has taught you.
I guess for me, you got to try. Get them all together, choke the shit out of one of them, and the rest will fall in line.
That works. See you guys.
Yeah, you see what he did? No. I think for me is I've had similar conversations with my daughter, but 6 hours. And this is very recently. And more than just once, like, and it's not forced. It was just honest and raw emotions, feelings. And for girl dads, that's important to actually let them do that.
Yeah.
Even if and it's hard because you're going, God damn, get off the cross, girl. You know, you want to say that.
Oh, and then
You know what I mean?
they'll just lose it.
Oh, God.
Because I've done that.
Yeah.
And she goes,
If
Well,
I've never talked to you again about anything.
Yeah, they
Exactly.
feel validated.
Yeah.
see you next week, I
Yes.
guess.
You don't feel validated. That's not funny. I apologize.
This is like a really good podcast, really bad podcast. It depends on who
People are
watches
going
it.
to love it or they're going to
Perspective.
be like, those two are assholes.
You know, I think to end this though, I think, you know, like an important thing that young fathers, if I could give anybody advice, like young, or anybody who's becoming a dad
that's a good
now,
one, yeah.
I think that's something we should do.
Give dad advice.
You know, one dad advice that I want to give is put your ego away.
Ooh.
Like no kid is
Yeah.
ever going to grow up and say, God, my dad had just the best ego.
Yeah.
Like
Nobody
said
says
no
that.
one
Yeah,
ever,
never.
right? Like they want to see you fail. They want to see you rise.
Yep.
They want to see you own. They want to see structure.
Yeah.
Like just be real.
They're the only
You know?
one that's going to
And they're gonna see it just like your wife. Like they're live with you. They know that you snore.
Yeah.
They know these things, right? Like they just be honest with them. Don't hide things
That
from
is
them.
so true. I remember growing up, and my parents did just that. They got us together and said, hey, made a mistake. We did this wrong. We used to have, and this is how old school I am, every Sunday we had roundtables. All the family got together after dinner, and you could air your beefs, your gripes, you know, Dad, you spanked me for breaking the lamp, but he's the one who broke the lamp. And I realized then that my parents gave us a voice, so we could air those things, and B, that they were fallible people. That they weren't these godlike creatures that walked among us and fed us, and you know, they weren't these, you know what I mean, these almighty people.
Not relatable.
Yeah. They straight up made us know that, okay, you know what? When my dad apologized to me, I won't ever forget that. I was like, I said my piece and I thought, I'm gonna get in trouble for it, but what the hell? He said that we were supposed to tell it, so I'm telling it. And when I did it and he apologized to me, I was like,
Oh, damn.
the power that I felt from that, he gave me a voice and it worked.
Yeah.
The power that I was 8, 9, I'm like, shit.
Yeah.
You know, it gave me such power that I couldn't wait for the next round table. I was stocking things up for the week. I was. So when it came down to it, it's like, okay, now.
I got a list.
I got some notes here.
Here comes the volley.
But I kind of took that into adulthood with my daughter and some friends. You know, we do Sunday dinners. For the longest, we were doing that, and it works.
Yeah.
It works to actually just sit down, like you said in the beginning. The time that you had, put everything away and just spent it with the kids. That's the most important thing for me. That's dad advice. Spend as much fucking time with your kids as you can.
Yeah.
Spend as much as you can.